San Antonio Zoo. I am here with the Dwarf Caiman. Can everybody hear me all right? Okay, awesome. So, like I said, these are Dwarf Caiman. Right here we have Buster, our male, and Grace is a little that's Robin, a little further back there. Gracie is our third Dwarf Caiman, and he seems to be around the corner in the bushes. He might come out in a little bit. So these Dwarf Caiman, people a lot of times are like, oh, look at the baby alligator. They're actually full grown. Buster here will be 39 in December, and Robin is 37 along with Gracie. So they do look a lot like alligators. They are the smallest of the crocodilian species, so they're related to alligators and crocodiles and our gharials that we have here. They're all related, but they all look different. So these guys, they don't do a whole lot of moving. As you can see, they're kind of just sitting here. They are ambush predators. That means they're going to sit and they're going to wait for their food. And as the food either swims by, because they do eat fish, or if it comes up to the water to take a drink, then they can snap up whatever food that they decide to eat. So they eat, like I said, fish, they'll eat birds, they'll eat small mammals, they'll even eat other lizards and some baby crocodilians. Okay. Was there any questions, or I'll try to speak up. Oh, so these guys in the wild, I'm not 100% certain of, but I know in captivity they do live to be about 60 years old. So they're about 2/3 of their lifespan right now. And Robin over there, she laid eggs earlier in July, and Gracie is about to lay eggs. So she has a nest that we can look at. The Dwarf Caiman, they are nest builders. They're going to lay their eggs in these mounds that they've created, and they spend a while creating this. As you can see, there's a lot of material. It's a bunch of mud and sticks and leaves and other debris, and this keeps the eggs insulated and it keeps them protected. So the egg temperature while they're in the nest determines the sex of the animal. So if the eggs stay warmer, they're going to be female, and if they're cooler, they're going to be male. So Gracie did decide to join us, so you can see her here. Do you have more questions? Okay.
She's smaller.
Yeah, so both of the females are smaller than the male. That's pretty typical for this species. They can get about 4 to 5 feet in length, and the males are usually much bigger than the females. These guys are found in South America. They like fast flowing rivers, so that there's lots of chance of food to swim on by. So these guys eat once a week, and that's not unusual for crocodilians. They have a fairly slow metabolism, so you would think that they need to eat a whole bunch, but their bodies are actually pretty efficient at taking care of that food and energy. Plus, they're not moving a ton. In the wild, they would eat maybe a little more frequently or less frequently. It just kind of depends what's coming up on them. They're pretty opportunistic. They're not going to say no to a meal.
These were her eggs?
So, yeah, she's the one who's building the nest. Robin has already laid eggs. She laid 15 eggs this year. And so they lay about 10 to 20, 25 eggs, depending on the mother. So a good rule of thumb is about 10% of their body weight for how much they eat. Sorry, I was answering the question without specifying. So when the babies hatch out, they actually stay on land for the first 24 hours or so, while they kind of come out with a mucus, and that mucus dries, and some people think it's to help them keep algae from growing on them. And then after that, they'll go into the water, and they'll stay near their mother, but she doesn't do a lot of like feeding. They'll be eating crustaceans and other smaller food items that they're going to be finding along the bank. I'm not scared being near them. If they were wild animals and I didn't know them, I would be giving them more distance than this. But I do know these three and their habits, and they know me. They know I'm the person that comes in and cleans and feeds and takes care of them. And like I mentioned earlier, they are ambush predators, so they're just going to sit and wait. So I don't expect them to come charging at me or anything. They don't see like me specifically as food, so I don't really have to worry about that. I'm not their prey. So Robin actually went off of feed before she laid, so she wasn't interested in food. We kept offering to her, obviously, but she just was more interested in being a mom at the time. However, I have seen an increase in her appetite after she laid, and we have been feeding her more than usual. So yes, she did kind of pick up on her appetite. So right now we are feeding these guys kind of baby chicks and adult mice, sometimes baby rats, and then Buster there is actually really good about eating crack biscuits, which are basically little pellets of like perfectly balanced nutrition for crocodilians. They've got all of the proteins and fats and stuff that they need. The girls unfortunately don't really enjoy those, but we still feed them a variety of things. Yes, so we already removed Robin's eggs, and we have them in the back in an incubator, and we're waiting to see which zoos might be interested in having the eggs, or the babies once they hatch. And then we will do the same thing with Gracie's eggs. We'll remove them from the nest. It's just safer not to hatch them on exhibit. We don't need a bunch of little babies running around in here with possible chance of like not escape, but possible predation, because there are other wild animals that come into this exhibit. I'm not really sure how strong they are. That's a great question. They can take the prey items and bring it down under the water to drown them. Robin there is pretty usual about doing that. When we feed her chicks, she likes to go to the bottom and eat them underwater instead of on the top of the water. So you do see that behavior with her.
There's no more questions.
No more questions? All right. Thank you so much for coming out today. Please come to the San Antonio Zoo and support us. We've got the drive-through zoo going on right now, and on weekends we have the foot traffic that you can come and walk in and see these guys. They're in the Amazonia section, so they're always here. Thank you.